tonight to talk about the Oshawa Ringette Association. You talk about one of the great sporting institutions of our area. Ringette is one of them. And joining us, Matea Hughes and Colin Deans. Colin is the president. Matea is a player, in case you couldn't figure it out. Guys, thanks for coming in with us.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having us, Roger.
Let's start with you, Colin. Let's talk about the history of this great association. Ringette's been a big part of our community for many years.
It has. The Oshawa Ringette Association has been in operation for 47 years. It's one of the oldest associations in Canada. Last year, Ringette celebrated its 50th anniversary, so it's a relatively young sport. But we're proud in Oshawa to be one of the oldest associations around.
Well, you talk about 50 years of Ringette. Let's just talk about that, the origins of the sport, because back in the day, it was largely a case, it's a chance for young ladies like Matea here to play the sport that weren't playing hockey. But as the years gone on, women's hockey, girls hockey continues to grow, but there's still a place for Ringette. Talk about the differences of it a little bit.
Absolutely. In Oshawa, it's a very cost-affordable winter sport, which can be tough, you know, to find that affordable winter sport. And that's what they tend to be. But we offer all the same facilities, all the same opportunities that hockey offers. We practice in all the same facilities that hockey does as well. So there is a place for both sports to exist and thrive in Oshawa. And the Oshawa Association is doing extremely well. We have over 160 registered members. We have players right from 3 years old. We had two of our players just hang up the skates in their mid-50s. I won't give them the real age, but you know, in their mid-50s. So that, wow. Yeah. So we have all ranges. It's a great sport to be. Well, we say Ringette for life. That's what you play.
Well, that's fantastic, and Matea, you would know that, although you're not anywhere near 50 years old, but you've played Ringette for a lot of years. What got you involved in the sport to start with, Matea?
Well, my brothers played hockey when they were young, and they played at the Legend Center, so Ringette was always going on other ice pads. Mm-hmm. So I always saw them play, and I was interested in it. Well,
you were interested, and you picked up it pretty well. Now, you've been playing, you told me, 4 or 5 years already? Yes. All right, you get into the game. What's it like playing Ringette? Because, I mean, it's a great sport.
It's really fast. I really like the rules. It's very competitive, which I like, and I make a lot of friends.
Well, good for you. That's a perfect reason to play sports. You know, when we talk about it, Colin, and we talk about the history of it, when you're trying to get kids signed up to it, the history isn't the biggest deal, though. How do you get young ladies like this young lady to get involved in the sport this day and age and make Ringette the choice as opposed to other sports? Because it's not just hockey versus Ringette. They get a lot of other sports they can play throughout the course of the year.
Yeah, very much so. We have a great program. It comes out of the Ontario Ringette Association, but Oshawa runs 2 or 3 of them a year. It's called the Come Try Ringette event. It's a completely free event. All you need are gloves and a helmet and skates, and we'll get you on the ice. It's a free event. There's lots of instructors that'll get you out there. They'll show you how to play the game. We show them how to pass a ring, stab a ring, take a shot. It's a great on-ice instruction for an hour, and we're running one this weekend, April 11th at 12 o'clock.
There's a notice Saturday, April 11th, so check it out, folks. We'll plug that a little bit later in the show, and a big tournament going on, under a 12th tournament coming up in Oshawa. We'll talk about later in the program as well. Matea, like some of your, I'm sure, classmates and people that you hang around with, probably wondering what you're doing playing Ringette all the time. But tell us about somebody who might be thinking about joining Ringette. What are some of the things that are cool about the sport that you like so much?
I really like how there is only 3 people allowed in each person's zone, each team, because it doesn't get overcrowded. I really like how there's passing over the blue line, so everyone gets a chance to get the ring. And it's really fun not just playing hockey, as a lot of people play hockey. I really like Ringette.
It's a little different too. So talk about like throwing that ring around, because it's very different than throwing a puck around. And I guess your dexterity, you got to, pick up on that ring. I've seen some of the high tournament plays over the years that I worked at the Oshawa newspaper, and it's a tough sport.
You have to make sure that you keep your eye on the ring and really put your stick down when you think it's going to come. It's hard to get the hang of it, but once you do, it's not.
Now you've played a couple of years and you've done really well. Talk to us about some of the good teams you've been on over the years.
Oh, there's really, really good teams all around. It's hard to.
You don't want to pick a favorite?
It's hard. Different teams in different years are really strong.
Well, that's great to hear. Colin, back to the history of the sport, the parents getting involved in everything, but the next generation of players, I guess that introductory thing is a big part of it. But do you find that a lot of people where maybe parents played the game as a kid as well, their young kids pick it up without having to, instruct them right from the start?
Well, that's exactly what we're getting into now. Is it's a generational sport, so we've got lots of a lot of our under 9, under 10, under 12 coaches. They're all parents who either are currently playing and have young kids themselves, or have recently stopped playing. It's a great way to get back into the sport. For the kids, they don't know any different. They've been running around the rinks with their mom for years watching her play, and to me, it's a fantastic way to get back into the sport.
There's no question about that, Colin. And Matea, we're going to take a break in a second, but maybe tell us a little bit about the differences between when you started this game and 5 years later. It's got to be much easier for you to play now.
It is. When we were little, we didn't really understand that you had to pass it over the blue line when you were like 5, but now it's much more faster and competitive.
When you were little, you're still little. Come on, Matea, don't age yourself so quickly. Colin Deans and Matea Hughes are our guests. Oshawa Ringette have a couple of big events coming up, including the Under 12 Provincial Championships. We'll talk about that event. We'll tell you how you can get involved. Alicia Warner has a very special on the Oshawa Generals coming up. Fred Brathwaite, Rick Kornakia. Yeah, 1990, hard to believe. The Oshawa Generals last won the Memorial Cup. Maybe they'll win this year, and we have the Durham Sports Calendar as well for you. Check us out on Twitter at TheRog590. Email Roger at sportsnet590.ca. More of the home team is coming up with our guests from Oshawa Ringette. Next on the home team on Rogers TV. It's the home team. Look at those fantastic jerseys of the Oshawa Storm. What a move that was. Terrific. I'm Roger Lajoie. It's the home team on Rogers TV. Glad you're with us, folks, here in Durham Region. Always great to be with you. Our guest tonight from the Oshawa Ringette Association, Colin Deans, the president, and Matea Hughes, one of the players, and great to have them with us here tonight on Rogers TV. We'll have more information on how you can take part in Ringette coming up a bit shortly. But Colin, let's talk about your marquee event coming up, the Under 12 Provincial Championships. One thing I'm sure you like to do in Oshawa is we like to show what great sports people are in this community and the organization of this tournament. Talk to us about organizing this. 32 teams, I understand.
Yeah, we have teams coming in throughout Ontario. The nice part about it, 32 teams. We hosted the event in 2013. We had 30 teams then, so we have some pedigree now. We got used to it a bit. I managed to talk my organizing committee to coming back, which must mean we did something, right? Yeah, yeah. So they're coming from all over. Timmins, Upper Ottawa Valley, London, from all over. And the nice part really as well is we have 5 local teams participating. There's 2 in Oshawa, there's 2 in Whitby, and 1 in Ajax. So it's really an opportunity for all these teams to come in. They get a 6-game round robin. They could play up to 8 games on the weekends. And there's no elimination on paper. So they go back on the ice for mini games to eliminate teams. So it's pretty intense for these girls. Yeah,
that's great stuff. Now,
yeah.
5 local teams is terrific. How do they qualify, or is it a matter of because of the geographical area? How did that work out in terms of?
Actually, it's one of the great things the Ontario Ringette Association has done in order to promote the sport and keep it live and going. Any team at this age who wants to participate in this event gets in.
Oh, that's great.
Regardless of how they've played through the year. So they just have to let us know they're coming, and 32 teams have responded favorably. So we're excited to have them all.
Well, Matea, you must be excited about it too as well, because obviously, after all your years of experience in the game, you get to play at this event. Tell us about your team, the Oshawa Storm.
Our team did really well this year. We came 3rd out of 9 teams in our division, and I'm really excited to be participating in the provincial tournament that's coming up.
Must be cool too to be the host team and everything else when you get an opportunity to take these teams. Do you know very much about these teams? I mean, like, you know, I know you play a long season throughout the course of the year, but a lot of these teams maybe you've never seen before too, right?
No, most of these teams I have no idea. One's from Sault Ste. Marie and Upper Ottawa Valley, so no idea what's going to hit here.
Talk to us about what kind of player you are, and give us a little scouting thing and how you fit into the team.
Well, I'm the center, so me and my sister were both centers, and we just like to be there.
Well, I'm sure you're doing a good job on your team if you finish 3rd, so best of luck at the tournament. Colin, you talk about the growth of it and 32 teams coming in. Are there hotbeds of Ringette in the province, certain areas? Because we see it in lacrosse, you know. Durham region is considered a hotbed of it. How does Oshawa stack up compared to the rest of Ringette? And are there other areas of the province where the sport is really popular too?
Yeah, so Oshawa's on the eastern side of what's called Central Region. So we're one of 6 regions. We're in a very competitive market, so a good year for us is retaining our membership. Certainly the hotbeds of ringette exist in the Ottawa Valley, the western regions like the Londons and the like, and actually in the far north, the Timmins and Sudburys are doing extremely well. So there are definite pockets, and there's definite teams you kind of cringe when you see them coming on the ice, right? But so Oshawa, Ajax, Pickering are all doing very well, and they constitute what's known as Central Region.
Let's talk about the volunteers, the number of people that are involved in a tournament like this, because boy, you bring 32 teams from across the province, the scheduling, the referees, the officials, and it's a labor of love for everybody that's involved. Talk about some of the organizing people, because boy, what a magnitude of an event to have to handle.
Well, I couldn't do it by myself. I have an amazing organizing committee. Most of the time we're crashing. My house looks like a bomb went off in it right now with all the prizes and all the work that the volunteers are doing. I mean, last night we put together 600 player bags at the house. So I have a great crew that also includes members like our referee in chief. So we're working with the officials, and we're making sure that we got a great event planned. And to that extent as well, the City of Oshawa has been extremely helpful in this whole process as well, making this an easy transition to host a tournament to this size.
Great to see.
Yeah.
So many people in Durham region spend so much time volunteering on events like this. It's really fantastic. Mateo, you must be excited about the tournament. Do you think your team can compete with some of these better teams in the province here?
I hope so. I really think we can do it, though. Excited to see all the different teams come
Talk
together.
about your coach and playing this sport for a couple of years and what you've learned about it, because boy, there's a lot of work that goes into being a player for that many years, for sure.
Well, my coach is great. I've had great coaches all over the year, and every year it's just a little bit different with your teammates and your coaches and how old the team is and all that kind of stuff. So it's different, depends on every year.
And I guess ringette is something that's close to you, because people might talk about hockey, but obviously ringette is near and dear to your heart too. What's the difference between hockey and ringette in your mind?
Well, mostly the rules, because you have to pass over the blue line. Only 3 people are allowed in the zone, as I mentioned earlier, and you're not allowed in the crease.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Oshawa does, and you've done a great job. We'll tell you how you can be involved in ringette. There are a lot of people that might like this sport after listening to this fine young lady, and Colin Dean's the president. We'll tell you about how you can learn ringette, and we'll have that special feature on the Oshawa Generals coming up as well. You're watching the home team. It's only on Rogers TV. More to come. Stick around. It's a home team on Rogers TV. I'm Roger Lajoie. Great to be with you once again this week, folks. Follow us on Twitter anytime at the Rog590 or email roger@sportsnet590.ca. What we love about the home team is we have an opportunity to talk about all of the great amateur sports in our community. The Oshawa Ringette Association's been around for 5 decades. The Oshawa Storm and this young lady, not quite 5 decades, but they've been around as well, and they have a great tournament coming up, the Under-12 tournament, which we told you about earlier. But I think a lot of people, Colin and Mateo, would like to know about how they can get involved in the sport. We talked about it earlier in the show, but let's talk again about your introductory for ringette, because at first people might not know what the sport's all about. You give them a perfect chance to do that when you say, come try ringette.
Yeah, and so that's exactly what it is. It's as binary as it sounds. Come on out on the ice. We'll provide all the equipment for you. We have lots of coaches, lots of support on the staff on the ice. A lot of players like Matea up to our under-16s, our under-19s are out there working one-on-one with every player that's out there. So even if you can't skate or you're not sure of your skates, we'll get you out there on the ice and get you used to the idea of what it's like to have a ring on the end of your stick and what it's like to pass and what it's like to stab, and it's completely free.
Saturday, April 11th, you saw the plug. Matea, tell everybody why they should come out and watch you show them how to play ringette.
Well, you should really come and try it and see how much fun it is. It's really, you can work one-on-one and it's real, just, you can just try it out and see.
Well, it's been a great sport. I'm sure people will enjoy it, and best of luck at the Under-12 Championships as well. Colin, you do a tremendous job, and Matea, here's hoping the Oshawa Storm can show those other guys from across the province how good they are. Guys, you do a terrific job for the community. Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll certainly follow up after the tournament's done. Thank you. That's Matea Hughes and Colin Deans from the Oshawa Ringette Association. Oshawa Storm Under-12 Championships coming up. And check them out, folks, April the 11th. Their website?
www.oshawaringette.ca.
OshawaRingette.ca. Check it out and get all the details and try this great sport.